this is what one thing I always say. If you're with someone who has kids, you have to love their kids as your own. Not pretend love because you just want to be with the guy. Right. You have to love them like you love your own kids. There's no two ways about it. And because that's how I was raised, that's all I know to do for, my blended family. I can't not love my partner's children. And raise them all as one. Because to me, no one is a step to me.
I love
not
that.
Like that.
Yeah. And how about them? Like, do they feel the same way?
I hope so.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Truly Talkative Podcast. I'm your host, Eno Craigren. I thought I knew like 100%.
98%.
What is this?
There's a reason for everything, but there's not a justification for everything.
No, let me start going where I'm coming from.
That day is like I'm playing and they come here. Come here. Yes, you.
Hi guys, welcome back to Truly Talkative. Today I have the Vanessa Jan, modern day mom, with me. And before we start the conversation, if you've not subscribed, why? Go and subscribe right now. Now I'm forcing everyone, go and subscribe now. If you're watching on Spotify, listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, welcome back. Hi, Vanessa.
Hello.
So I'm so excited to have you here.
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. I mean, let me take it back to us meeting, and then we'll go even, further down. So we met on Twitter.
Yes.
It was Twitter Spaces. Yes. And I mean, what made you decide, because you reached out to me about an event you were having.
Yes.
So what made you decide, because I think you're very private, and I think you're selective when it comes to who you hang out with and that sort of thing. So
yeah, Anna knows me too well already. Yes.
Yeah. So to me, that space, I gelled with you.
Right.
I thought you were real. I liked your submissions, and just I just thought we kind of vibed, even though it wasn't I think there were quite a number of people on that.
I can't even remember.
Yeah, me too.
You stood out the most.
Yeah.
For me. I guess us both being moms. And like you said, it was just natural. So I was just like, I need Eno for my event. It was just natural.
Yeah.
I had obviously heard about Talkative Mom, but we had never bumped into each other before. We had never been in the same space. I don't think we had.
We hadn't.
But then I was like, okay, I need to meet Eno, and I want her at my event.
Yeah.
She has to be there.
Yeah. Like I felt the same way. Once you invited me, I was like, oh, I'm there.
Yeah.
And when I met you, even after that, we met at different... I mean, yeah, it's like after that, we started to meet.
It's like we were always bumping into each other everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that, at the time, your son and my sons were not in the same school. But, I mean, we later found out that, you're now in the same school, things like that. So that was very interesting. That was very interesting. But yeah, so you're Vanessa Jan.
Yes.
For those who don't know, you're Kiki Jan's daughter.
Yes.
I want you to take me back to your childhood. First of all, for those who don't know, who is Kiki Jan?
Okay.
Yeah.
So Kiki Jan was a part of Osibisa. He played the piano. He entered the group from his teenage years. He was the youngest. He was the baby. He played a huge role also in a lot of the songs that were written, even though he never gained credit for it. But yes, and then he ended up going solo.
Okay.
Which now, it's so crazy, has been the most beneficial in the sense of his legacy outside of Ghana.
Right.
Yeah.
So how was it like growing up? Were you living with him? What was that like?
So my parents were not together.
Okay.
So my mom raised me. My mom raised me as a single mom. It was when I was about 7 or 8 when I came back to Ghana.
Okay.
That I actually met him.
So wait, so you were born in the US?
I was born in the US. I was born in DC, and a lot of people think I was born in
New York.
Because I feel like I am a true New York baby because I was raised there.
Okay.
So I was born in DC, but very young. I think it was, my mom says, like 2 months, we moved to the UK.
Oh.
So we were in the UK till I was 7.
Who were you with?
My mom. My mom got a job in the UK.
Okay.
So we transitioned to the UK.
Okay.
We were there till I was 7, until my mom wanted to go back to the States.
Okay.
So from 7 to 8, I was in Ghana with my grandmother. I went to Soul Clinic for a year and a half. There's even someone my mom keeps mentioning. I have to find her name. She said that was like my best friend in Soul Clinic for the year. And then we moved to New York when I was 9 years old.
Okay.
So from that time until I moved to Ghana almost 11 years ago, I was in New York. But my mom raised me from birth basically till around 4 years old.
Okay.
Because that's when she met my dad. I don't like to say stepdad. That's never been in my home. So that's when she met my dad, from when I was 4 years old. When we were in the UK. So my father, my biological father, it wasn't until I came to Ghana, 7, 8 years old, that we met, and yeah.
Do you remember?
I do. I very much so remember. I remember because it was the first time he came to the house. It was late at night. No, okay. 7, 8, that part I don't. When I was 9, we came for my grandmother's funeral.
Okay.
And we were in Kenishi.
Okay.
And all the parents had gone out. I was with my cousins, and it was evening, and he came to the house.
Okay.
And, he was knocking on the door. He wants to see me. I remember this so clearly. But I was a child. And scared. I was kind of scared.
Yeah.
I was nervous only because, like, my mom wasn't home. No adults were home. Like, my cousins were just a bit older than me.
Yeah.
And so the next day he came back. And then, like, we sat, I remember, in the living room, and my mom was there. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So up until that time, did you think your stepdad was your dad?
No. Oh, no. We are very open.
Okay.
My family, we're very honest, I should say.
Okay.
So I knew he wasn't my biological father, but he took me in as his own. So he didn't come into the relationship with my mom with children.
Okay.
And he always considered me his firstborn.
Okay.
Which he still does now, even though I have 2 sisters.
Okay.
That came, after.
So between your dad and mom, you're the only child?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then up until the time when you met your dad, were you looking to find your dad? Did you want to?
I was a child. So I think also my mom raised me in so much love. I never felt a loss. I know that sounds weird, but I was just a little girl being raised by her mom. It didn't seem not normal to me, in a sense. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so you met your dad, and what was that experience like for you?
It was interesting. It was just, okay, this is the person, Then I went back to America. I think that's when my auntie and we started. I can't. That part is kind of like blurry. Later on, I think, is when my auntie, reached out more. They were always in contact with my family in Ghana.
So when you say they, you mean your dad's family?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And my dad would always go to my uncle's house in Kenishi.
Okay.
So there was still the relationship was always there.
Right.
But obviously my father had some hard times and dark moments. And I think that is what really put the split, I guess you can say. Yeah. But my mom has never, one thing I also appreciate is that my mom has never badmouthed my father. Like, never.
Wow.
There's never been a time, like, never. And I'm really appreciative of that. Yeah.
Did you meet him after that? Like, after that?
So, after that, I didn't come back to Ghana. Okay. And then when I was of the age where I'm like, okay, I'm 17, 18, I'm ready to go back to Ghana. Let me reunite with my father. Let me see. Yeah. That's when he passed away. Oh. Literally that year that I wanted to come back.
Oh.
Yes.
How did that affect you?
It was it was one of those moments where I was like, damn, I should have come back earlier. You know, you think to yourself, what if I had come back a year before? Maybe I could have helped him. Maybe he wouldn't have. So many things start to run through your mind.
Yeah.
And you also can't blame yourself.
Right.
But it was one of those like, damn.
So from 7, 8 when you met him till 17, 18 when he passed away, were you guys in contact at all?
No, I was in contact on and off with my auntie.
Okay.
But then after he passed is when we really like came more into contact. Like we're like, like my cousins, my auntie has 3 sons. And then when I moved to Ghana, because then now I'm here.
Right.
We've built like, it's just, I feel like we were each other's missing pieces in a way in our lives. Yeah. Because for them, I'm the only memory left of my dad, you know? And for me, they are the memory I have because that's his direct family.
Yeah. Did he remarry? I mean, well, your mom and your dad never married. So did he ever marry?
My dad was a rock star.
Okay.
He was a rock star. And, you know, people are always like, oh, my God, we can't believe you're the only child.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I'm literally the only child.
Okay.
So, no, he didn't remarry. It was just a lot for him. He went through a lot.
Yeah. Okay. So now let's move back to growing up with your dad. I mean, I'm talking about, you know, just for clarity, your stepdad, but bonus dad, exactly. And your mom. So he came into marriage without any kids.
Right.
Your mom had you.
Yes.
They get married and then they have
Gabrielle came when I was 9.
Okay.
And then Arnell when I was 11, 12.
Okay.
Because Arnell's now 26.
Okay.
She'll be 27, yes.
Okay. So when they came, how was that like for you? Because you had been the only child for years.
It's so funny because I said this to someone the other day. I was like, it was weird because I was an only child. It was all about me.
Yeah.
So I was like, what? I'm not the person. But it was like my sisters for a time were closer because they're closer in age.
Okay.
I'm 10 plus years older
than them.
So but they were still my babies.
Yeah.
I used to pick them up from school when my mom was at work, when my dad was at. But they always saw me as, the older sister. But now, even though they still see me as the older sister, they're my best friends. Like, they're the first people that, like, I call my sister like 30 times. Like, no, she's sometimes over. And that's the youngest one.
Okay.
The one that's 26. Okay. I call her, like, how many times a day just to talk? Or in our group chats. So as we've gotten older, it's not just about them two being besties. They've added the real bestie to the mix.
Yeah. Yes, okay. And then how was that raising, like your mom raising you guys? Like, did you feel different in any way? Did your parents make you feel different in any way? Okay.
And the thing is, so I think my sister always says, we knew that you had, a different dad. Like, it was unspoken because they were children. But as they got older, we've spoken about it. But no, it was literally, like my mom and bonus dad raised us in a house filled with love. So I don't know anything else. So when I see people not loving people or when people don't love me, I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Because we were raised in a house of, like, I never saw my parents arguing. I never saw none of that.
Wow.
It was always like love.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, did you find out years later that, maybe they did have arguments here and there, but then they never they were intentional about it?
Yes. Because every relationship, nothing is perfect. Yeah. But it wasn't something where it was pinned on me or it was visible to me.
Yeah. Okay. So now 17, 18, you moved back to Ghana, right?
No. So 17, 18 is when my father passed away.
Okay.
I moved to Ghana, 11 years ago. So I was like 28.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What made...
It wasn't... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no.
It was not in my plan. It's never been on my vision board. I am a New York City girl. I love hopping on the train. I love picking up my Starbucks. Like, I just love New York.
Yeah.
So my dream was always building my media career in New York, having like a penthouse suite with my husband. That's what I envisioned.
Yeah.
Ghana was not on the map. It was not even a thought.
Okay. So what happened?
Then my cousins were like, oh, come for Christmas 2012.
Okay.
And just come, just see how it is. And I'm like, okay, I'm coming. So fine. Because I was scared of flying for some time.
Oh.
So that's what really restricted a lot of my life to, I
Yeah.
just have like nerves when it comes
Yeah.
to
Same.
So
Same,
it took me a while. So then I finally came 2012. I'm like, this is beautiful. Like, I love it here. And the media space, I felt like I could make an impact.
Okay, so before you came, what work were you?
Okay,
what were you
so
doing?
I have a degree in television, radio communications,
Okay.
and public relations.
Okay.
So I've worked at different media houses freelancing. I've done PR. So I was very much so in the media space.
Already.
Yeah, so coming here and, learning a bit about the media space. And then I got the opportunity, even before I went back to the US at Global Media Alliance. Like, they were like, okay, if you want to come and this is where you want to be, I'm so grateful to Mr. Boateng, then we'll give you that platform.
Okay.
And I just came back 2013 August. I was like, let me pack up my stuff. I can give it a chance. If it doesn't work, I could go back. It's not even, but it's worked. It's been 11 years now. Well, August will be 11 years.
Yeah. So, okay. So you came, enjoyed Christmas.
Yes.
You went back and then decided, you know what?
Yeah.
Ghana is for me. I'm
I even
coming.
got a job while I went back. Michael Kors, they were launching their cosmetics line for the first time. I applied for the job, helping with the marketing and PR, got the job, worked for like a couple of weeks, and sorry, I didn't even put in my resignation. I just got on the flight and then and I left and I came to Ghana.
Wow. Yeah. At the time, did you have friends in Ghana?
Just cousins.
Okay.
Because
didn't have friends.
My cousins, like my family.
Yeah. So you moved back to Ghana. What was that experience like? What was there any culture shock? Was there? Yeah. What was that?
So the thing is, even in New York, my mom is a very Ghanaian mother.
Okay.
So even everything, like food, everything, I'm used to it. It wasn't anything like we're there and like I'm disconnected. I think I can say for me, I can't say for my sisters, right? Because for me, I grew up in the UK. When we're in the UK, my aunties and uncles were all there.
Okay.
So I was very much so with like my mom's side. That time my sisters weren't born. So like understanding tree and all that is because I was already, I was there. I think it's different for my sisters because when they were born, we were already in the States.
Okay.
It was just us. So for them, one day, hopefully you can get them on the podcast.
Yeah.
It's different.
Okay.
Yeah. I always say maybe I settled easier because I don't even know how I just settled.
Yeah.
It was not a culture shock. Even things like trotro. I'm like, we have dollar vans in New York. You get me? Certain things where I'm like, it's not so like, oh my God, because I took trotro for like 3 months.
Wow.
So I'm like, it wasn't like, oh my God, I have to take trotro. I'm like, no, I get on the dollar van in New York all the time. And it takes you from point A to point B.
That's all that matters. Yeah.
So for me, it's just certain things like things being slow. That's still like I'm never gonna get used to.
Yeah.
But besides that, I think I've been able to settle well.
Okay. So you started work in the media space, and how many years did you work in the media space in Ghana when you came?
So, it was just about 6 years ago that I decided, okay, let me take a break.
Okay.
So it was like 4 years
or 5.
5 years.
Yeah, about 5 years. Yeah. Okay. What was that experience?
So I always say I'm thankful to the Boatengs for ETV, YFM, because they allowed me to be. Okay. They allowed me to share my talents with the station, share my ideas. And I always say that's a space that if you want to learn, is like one of the best spaces because you have like people like Fatih. I love Fatih so much that they're willing to teach you. They don't feel like, oh, let me hold everything for myself. So ETV, I was like, sometimes I say, if I knew what I knew now, I wouldn't have left.
Okay.
Yeah, because my experiences after that were not, they were, I would say dark.
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah. So if I could turn back, obviously things have happened and okay, life evolves and I'm grateful for where I am. And that second experience after ETV taught me a lot, but I just felt like I didn't deserve that.
The treatment.
Yes.
Yeah. Before we even move to that, you said how did you get the job with
Oh,
them?
okay.
Yeah.
So I know that's, I would say family ties. Okay, I'll be
Okay.
honest. Yeah.
Yeah.
So my uncle is very good friends with Mr. Boateng,
Okay.
and then he was like, my niece is coming. She wants to work in the media space out here. But one thing with Mr. Boateng, he's like, listen, I don't care if you have 20 degrees from America. You are gonna start from here, and we're gonna see you rise.
Okay.
So when I first got to ETV, I was producing for Caroline Sampson and then DJ Kess. And then Caroline was traveling. So they were like, do you want to sit in for her? And at first I was like, I don't want to sit in anyone's space. As long as Caroline is okay with that. She was like, girl, please sit. I'm traveling.
Yeah.
So from there, I just started like just showing them what I could do.
Okay.
And then I took over the entertainment desk. Fatih trusted me enough to take over the entertainment desk at ETV. So I was covering events, writing stories, all the shebang. And she really because Fatih is someone that she really has to trust you to just say, do it.
Yeah.
And then the Sincerely V show came about.
So that was your show.
That was mine. I had it in New York. I used to do it like on my balcony, just talking to women. And then I wanted to bring it here. And that was something they were like, okay, let's see. Like, we're going to give you a chance. If it doesn't work, but it worked. We thank God. And that I thank JOT because he saw the vision and was like, okay, we don't have a budget.
Okay.
But let's see what we can make of it.
Yeah. So you started Sincerely Be there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What made you move?
Okay, what made me move was everyone was like, not everyone, okay. A couple of people were like, this other station will be good for you. You need to grow now. You need to go to the next level. They're paying better, and they were. But when I did put in my resignation at ETV, they were willing to offer me anything.
Like to match your offer.
Yeah. And even beyond.
Oh.
Like, what do you need, V? Like, what is, and I was just like so stubborn. I'm like, no, I'm going.
Yeah.
Like something else has come. I'm going.
Yeah.
And then I left.
Right. So was it everything you hoped for?
What, leaving?
Yeah.
No. It was one of those, well, it got to a point where I was like sad having to go into work because it's like, okay, I'm coming with my TV show and now all of a sudden we can't lift the TV show off the ground. Then you're hearing your show is being shot by someone else, the same exact show. Then you're hearing, we can never air. Like there were so many things. And then one day you're in America and your show is off air. And you're asking questions and you're the bad person. Footage that was lost. Like so much happened.
Yeah.
And so I'm grateful because it made me realize that is not the space I needed to be in, especially after I had my first son.
Okay.
I was like, this is not it. This is not worth it.
Yeah.
I'm not here because you feed me. Like this is not money that feeds me. I'm here because I enjoy what I do. I studied it. I'm passionate about it. But I'm not that hungry to stay and deal with all that.
So, I mean, before we move to your son, why did you decide to stay? Like you were going through a hard time. It was a dark time, like you described. Why didn't you say, oh, you know what? Let me just go back. Because you said, let me try Ghana and then see if it works. Then you went and then, what made you?
I'm a tough one though, because I still had faith in my talent. Right. Okay. So it wasn't about the TV station. I knew that there was more to me than that. And I'm going to push it through. I don't give up easily. I'm like, this is just like 2%, So I that's what I did. I pushed it through. And then, then I had my son. And then I realized,
this is not it.
It's not it at all.
Yeah. So now let's move to your son, Aaron.
Yes.
So with Aaron, so we're moving to you having a blended family.
Yes.
You now have a son.
Yes.
I don't know if you care to speak about how it happened, but yeah, like what was that experience? Like how did that happen? And yeah.
So, well, we all know how it happened.
Yeah.
But basically, I don't even know. Where should I start from? I'll start with, okay, so I became a single mom very early after having Aaron.
So when you say single, you mean that
Co-parenting.
So co-parenting was happening.
But Aaron is with me 95% of the time.
Right.
I am Aaron's sole caretaker.
Right.
And that's something that happened. Was I shocked? I don't even know if I should have been shocked or not. But I said, you know what? It is what it is. Like, I'm not going to dwell on it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to speak bad about anyone. I'm just going to make sure my son is good. And I'm always going to make sure my son is raised in love because that's what I knew.
Yeah.
So even when you meet Aaron, everyone knows, like, he's so filled with love and happiness and joy because he's about to be 7. He's never lacked. And that's because I've made sure. And I think also when you're a single mom, you're already intentional as a mom, but when you're a single mom, you're even super intentional.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, I gotta make sure my kid is always good.
Right.
And that's what I've always done since day one.
So, being in the media space, obviously you were in the limelight, and then having a son, and the stories, were running wild. Like, how did you deal with that? Emotionally, psychologically, like everything, and also being a new mom, like how did you deal with all that?
So I was in the States for the first 3 months, and then I came back, and people talking, but for me, I felt like I know the truth. So even if you're talking, you're talking to yourself.
Yeah.
Because I know the truth. I know my reality.
Right.
So I wasn't going to allow anyone to step on that. And I think people tried to because they thought that would break me. But it only made me want to prove myself more. And I'm always grateful to my family. My mom has been like the biggest. I don't even know what I would do without that woman.
So I was actually going to ask, like, how did she like help throughout this process?
Just saying, well, she says some cuss words about people, and then just being there.
Yeah.
And just being the greatest grandmother that she could ever be. Like, she's like obsessed with her grandchildren.
Okay.
And so between her, my bonus dad, my sisters, like my best friends who are in New York, they're just like, girl, let them talk. Especially like if you meet my best friends, they're like, girl, please. Like, let them talk. Like, what are they? Like, what they gonna say? Like, there was a time when some blog came out and they were like, girl, please. Like, does anyone even read that blog? Like, we don't care. Like, and I think that is like, helped. Okay, like, I'm not dwelling on the few negative Bettys in Ghana that, have nothing else better to do than to just talk.
So you had him in the US, isn't it? So that was when you had like your village around you physically.
Yes.
And then you moved back to Ghana.
Then I came back. And I came back thinking I was going to be happy working, and that was just, it wasn't what I expected. And then when Aaron was about to be 1 is when I randomly got laid off.
So before like when you say that wasn't what you expected, like what do you mean? Like,
I thought I'd get back right into the flow of things. Okay. Even radio was cut down a bit because I was on radio like 3 times a day. Okay. And obviously I know when you travel and you come back, things will change, but things drastically changed. There were times I would even take Aaron to the radio station in the evening with like our nanny. Oh. Because I didn't want to just leave him.
Yeah.
Time on radio started getting cut down.
Why? Like, do you know the reason?
They take budget cuts.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So I just let it be.
Yeah.
And then eventually, so I came back October 2017. And it was 2018, just before I traveled out again.
Okay.
That I got laid off. Like
was there a reason? Budget cuts again?
Budget cuts. Yeah. So it was like a mass layoff. And I found it, okay, well, I'm one of the top people on radio. My TV show, I'm bringing it to you. Like, location, I found. My guest, I find. My production, so it's not like you had to do much.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then I got laid off, and I was like,
Peace.
yeah, I was just
Yes.
like, thank you, Jesus.
Yeah.
Because even when by that end of 2018, my goal was not to be there.
Yeah.
So I was just like, deuces, I'm going on holiday.
Yeah.
And I bounced. And
Yeah.
people thought when I left, I wasn't coming back. Oh, she's gone. Like, we've been able to push her out. No, I just went to enjoy my holidays. And then I came back.
Yeah.
And then I just started doing my own thing.
So around this time, how old was Aaron?
He was about to be 1.
Oh, okay. So you're still a baby.
Oh, yeah, he was still a baby.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And you were like a new mom.
Yes.
Dealing with all this. Okay. I mean, I have even shared with you my experience in the media space. And first of all, I don't even know how people do this for years.
I don't know either.
Yeah. Yeah, because it was a lot for me, like mentally, emotionally, physically, everything. I was like, what is this?
Yes.
And then I feel that there isn't a lot of fairness.
Yes.
And yeah, it's just it can be very dark.
Yes.
It can be very dark if you don't play the game or
Yes.
whatever, you know. And especially for like women like us who speak our minds and then don't tolerate nonsense.
Yes.
Let me just say that. Don't tolerate nonsense. I feel we cannot thrive in a space like that because there's a lot of ass kissing in back. Yeah, a lot. So yeah, it really wasn't for me. And again, just like you, I'm grateful for. Mine was just 7 weeks. Yeah. I'm grateful for the 7 weeks because I did learn a lot.
Yes. Yeah.
So that, to me, that is like the good side. The bad side is like all the things that we just mentioned, you know. Right. And I don't think anything actually beats doing your own thing. I'm talking about in the media space.
I agree.
Now let's move on. So Aaron is 1, and then after, what did you do?
So I had already started the post-pregnancy Bougie Express, which is my maternal health initiative.
Okay.
So I started that when we came back when Aaron was 3 months.
Why?
That's where we kicked off the first event. So,
what was that?
You know, I usually do my prenatal care in Ghana.
Okay.
And for Aaron, I was going to a private clinic, but there was holes. Like, there was just holes in the system. I was like, you know, you go in and the doctor's just like, okay, bye-bye, next person. I didn't feel like the care.
Right.
So I started to just research and Google and ask other moms questions. I'm like, is this how it is?
Yeah.
You know, like, and they're like, yeah. And so I got to New York when I was 7 months. Went to my doctor. The first thing they gave me was like a cute package, you know, some diapers in there, coupons, you know, it makes you feel good.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is something I like.
Yeah.
This is something I want to bring back. But I want to bring that back and more. So as I was in New York, pregnant, I was like, what am I going to do? Like, let me research, let me ask. Shout out to Dania, because she connected me to Ridge Hospital.
Okay.
That's where we had our first event.
Okay.
So she connected me, and I came back November, December, we kicked off our first event.
Okay.
At Ridge, and we had a panel, Fatih, Dania, Jifa Gray.
Okay.
It was an amazing panel.
Right.
And then they spoke to the moms. I brought like makeup and everything from the US, did gift bags, gifted it to the moms.
Right.
And then that's the day I found out firsthand about moms being detained.
For lack of
payment.
payment.
You know, and I was like, what? So that day we gathered some funds for, I think it was one mom. I still have her picture. Yeah. And we got her discharged. And I was like, I have to add this to the initiative. And then it just became like, I didn't know what to expect. I was just
helping. Yeah, exactly.
Then, we've had, I don't even know how many events at this point.
How long has it been? How many years
Since
now?
2017.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
So even though we have our 2 events, like our bigger events, throughout the year, we're still discharging patients and giving care packages to them.
Yeah.
So it was because of Aaron.
Yeah.
My experience. Yeah. I just felt like there was a disconnect between doctor and patient.
Right.
That I didn't like.
Yeah. Okay. So now let's move on to modern day.
Yes.
So now you have and this is a charity. This is like your NGO. And then Modern Day Mom, how did that come about?
So I was like, end of chapter for Sincerely V. I was like, I've outgrown Sincerely V. It's been amazing. I'm a mom now.
Yeah.
So I want to show more of the mommy side. I love being a mom. Like,
Yeah.
I think I love it too much. Even on the days where I'm like, oh,
yeah.
I'm still like, oh.
Yeah.
So yeah, Modern Day Mom, it was like 3 years ago that it came about. And was it 3? Yeah, like 3 years ago. Okay. It was about 3 years ago when Modern Day Mom came about. And I felt like I'm the modern day mom. You know,
Okay.
I'm building my career. I got my kids. I'm balancing it. I found the balance, or I'm still finding it. And I wanted other moms to appreciate being moms.
Right.
And I wanted to let them know you can do it all. It's not easy, no. But we can have it all if we are intentional about having it all. And that's how Modern Day Mom came about.
Okay. So now we have Modern Day Mom, and then we have it's pregnancy bouginess. Wait, what's
Postpartum Bougie Express.
Yes. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Okay, and then so because now you're a mom of 2.
Yes.
So we want to move back to your personal life and then finally blend in the family. Okay. How did the second baby come about? Like, I mean, we know how it came about, but yeah, let's talk about that.
I always say this. This is what I always say. First of all, when I had Aaron and everything, many years I wasn't even like dating.
Okay.
Because I'm one of those that's like, I'm not bringing people in and out of my house. I don't need my son to see those type of things. That's not it. So it took me some time.
Okay.
And then as time was going, I just knew in my mind, if I meet someone, the age bracket now, that person most likely will have kids.
Okay.
And if they don't, they're going to have to understand that I come with my child. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. And so eventually I met someone.
Okay.
And
how did you guys meet?
We met. We both have different stories. So, you know, one day you can ask him. But mine is through work.
Okay.
Yeah, through work.
What's his story?
His story is through the DMs.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't recall. No, but through work, I was leading a wine brand that was pushing into the system, and I wanted to collaborate.
Okay.
And then that's how we met. Yeah.
Okay. So who reached out to who?
Oh, I reached out about the wine.
Okay.
Like, I want to collaborate with you. This is a new wine in town.
Yeah.
You're going to love it. And I want you to taste it. Like, I want you to, because I was really like pushing the wine and people thought it was even my own.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's not mine. I'm just trying to get it out there.
Right.
Stock it everywhere. And,
so, I mean, just for clarity, like, you didn't know him from anywhere?
No.
No mutual friends?
So, in the sense that we're all in this industry, but we had never spoken or communicated like in any way.
Okay.
Yes, but after we realized, okay, you know, I know this person. Oh, I know this person. Yeah.
Okay, so you knew people who knew him.
Yes.
Okay, but then why him? Why would you say, oh, let me go like introduce?
Because of the brand that he owns, and I felt like it would just mesh well with what he's doing.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So I just hit the Google. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, let me see email. Okay, let me just because I didn't know who to go through.
Okay. And then how did the relationship come?
Evolved.
Oh, okay.
It just naturally evolved. I think it's one of those things where you meet someone and it's very comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, it's like very easy.
Yeah.
In a sense with that person.
Yeah.
And I think our background too, like coming back to we both relocated. We're both like diaspora babies.
So he grew up where?
New York.
In New York as well.
Yes. And I think, so it was just natural.
Right. I mean, I always say when I'm sharing my story with my husband, I always say that initially I never ever thought we were going to like even date.
Right.
When I say the attraction wasn't there, I don't mean that physically I didn't find him attractive, but it was just, for me, I loved that he was my safe space, that I like, you know, like a friend.
Right.
And, you know, I could just share everything with him. And I didn't want to complicate things by, I was just like, let me just have a friend, you know?
Yeah.
Did you guys start out as friends before?
Yeah, it was, well, I think none of us expected anything. We just knew it work.
Yeah.
And then it just organically evolved.
Into, was there like immediate attraction as well?
You know, funny enough, it was during COVID when the initial meeting was during COVID. Well, the first few months, but the first day was COVID, and he had his mask still on.
Oh.
I didn't have a mask on, and I'm just like, "You're gonna take your mask off?" He's like, "No." I'm like, "Okay, cool, okay." So I even was like, "Oh gosh," he's like kind of stush. So I was even nervous, like, "Oh my God, like, how do I even introduce the brand? How do I talk to this person? Like, what have I gotten myself into?"
Yeah.
And then we had a launch event for the wine.
Okay.
A couple of days after our initial meeting.
Okay.
He came to the event and then he didn't have his mask on. I was like, "Oh, okay, hi." In person, I was like, "Okay." Oh. And then I was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can speak for everyone to say he's very handsome. Very, very handsome. I mean, you are very beautiful. So it's like, anyways, so now the baby. So, what, like, was it just like, did you guys plan it? Was it like, oh, you know what, we're ready to start having, like, what was it?
It wasn't like planned.
Okay.
It happened. And it wasn't something where it was like, oh no. It's like, okay.
And you wanted to have another child.
The crazy thing is, I always thought it would be Aaron and I for the rest of our lives.
Oh.
No, I really got to a point where I was like, I'm not stressing. I'm very okay with just Aaron, raising him, being a single woman, you know. I was very okay with that.
Okay.
And also I felt like dating was out here is very like just weird and different. And
in what sense?
In like what? It's so funny because the other day someone was like, "Oh, the men out here, they're very accepting of women with children." I'm like, no, I not from what I know personally and what I've seen. Okay. So that for me was just like, well, if it's not about me and my son, this is never gonna, you know. And I hadn't met anyone that was like, oh, like just liked Aaron, like not that they didn't like him, but where you can see that, okay, this person really you know, like, so you has friends, male friends, because it's not like bringing people, of course, if we go somewhere, like I take Aaron out, you meet, you're like, "Oh my God, my friend is my son." You can just tell people's energies. And so I was very much ready to just live my life with my son. Okay. And just focus on work. Yeah, that was like, Yeah.
And then, so then you met him, and then...
What I think I liked the most, there's a whole list, was like he's a parent also. He comes with kids. And he liked Aaron from day one. Like from the first day he met him. I don't even remember when the first time was that he met Aaron. But he liked him.
So again, I want to, like, I'm imagining like a single mom watching this, thinking like, okay, what are the cues I should look out for? Like, what did you see that made you say, oh, you know what, he actually does like my son?
I think also the fact that he had kids.
Okay.
Right? So that also changes the whole ball game. And his personality, like, he's just a good, chill, calm person. And even our conversations on parenting, I was like, this is a good guy. He's a good parent.
Yeah.
So I knew that if we were to move on and continue, I knew that it would be a good space for my son also. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. How about Aaron? Like, what was it like for him as well? Like, meeting him. Yeah. Did he like him initially?
Yeah, Aaron was very... Like, Aaron took to him very well. That was another thing. Aaron took to him very well, which made me really happy. Okay. And was just always excited. Yeah. You know, to hear his name or how is blah, blah, blah. And so for Aaron, it's been so good. And that makes me so happy. Right. That he has someone around consistently. Yeah. That can guide him because he's a boy. Like, I'm a mom. I could only do so much as a woman, you know. It's a whole ball game with boys. Yeah. So for him to have that consistent man, it makes me happy.
You know what? I like the fact that you said consistent, right? Because we always talk about, oh, you know what, like what a man can do, a woman can do better, blah, blah. But I've noticed that the boys need their dads. Yeah. Like, well, whether it's their dad or a dad or a male figure, they need someone like that. Yes. I don't know if it's if it's because I'm the mother and they say boys love their moms, blah blah blah. I don't know whether that's the reason, but I feel like I'm not as firm with them as I can be.
Yeah.
And I can see the switch whenever my husband. So now he's not always in Ghana, right? So anytime he's not around, I feel like there's this, like, it's almost like, like when they say, well, when the cat's away, the mouse can play.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel he's actually strict. People don't believe me, but
Right.
he is very strict.
Right.
And whenever he comes, I just feel like there's more order and they listen more and all that. But whenever he's away, it's like, oh, you can get their way.
Yeah.
And the things about me, it's also because I am juggling quite a number of things. So sometimes I drop the ball when it comes to certain things, which
Right.
I think it's normal.
Yeah, of course.
But I think that the kids are smart enough to see that.
Yes.
So they know they
pick
can.
up, and then they know that they can run wild.
Yeah, it's like, let me tell you this funny story. My brother he does like home security. Right?
Okay.
So he went to this home, and then the mother had 3 boys. And the 3 boys know their mom so well that if they're doing something wrong, let's say they were supposed to play a video game and it was supposed to be like maybe 30 minutes video game and go do your homework. They've been playing it for like an hour, right? And then the mom comes in and it's like, stop, go do your homework now. And my brother was standing right there, right, watching them. And then the 3rd one was like doing something else, like another naughty thing.
Right.
So she had to leave quickly to go check that out. As she was leaving, the boys are like playing video game and they're just like, so when they watch her leave, then they just continue playing.
Yes.
And my brother is watching them like, wow.
Yes.
And that is the thing. I feel like once there's like someone else or like, a strong father figure in the house, he can implement certain things and he knows them because he's also a guy.
Yes.
So I love that you said that. And you having a father figure in Aaron's life now, how do you think that has kind of changed your home? Like what changes have you seen? Or
I think even with just Aaron, like I pamper Aaron. I over pamper. It's now that I'm like, okay, let me try to relax on the pampering. And even like I feel now he's just being more independent because there's a male telling him, oh, you have to do this. You have to do this now. You're going to be 7, A, B, C, D. And he listens.
Okay.
It's always like, oh, so-and-so said, well, so I'm going to do it. It's not mommy said.
Yeah.
So I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. So it's a different type of maturity for Aaron, which, that makes me happy.
Was he asking questions at any point? Did you feel like he, I know you said he lacked nothing, but did you feel like he expressed anything like that until that? Okay.
No, it's so, I don't know, people be like, are you sure? I'm like, no, like, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think because he's so showered with love from like everywhere, so yeah. Okay, so now you have a second boy. Yeah.
And what has that been like for Aaron?
It's been he's funny enough, the past couple of years he's wanted a sibling.
Okay.
And was like, oh, I want a brother or a sister. I was like, okay, yeah. But he's so excited to be a big brother. Their bond, even as young as, baby A is, the way he even like stares at Aaron or wants to copy Aaron. Even last night, they were all in the bed and Aaron was asleep. And baby A just going to go and hug him. And it's just so cute. Like, yeah.
Wait, how old is he now, baby A?
8 months.
Okay.
Yeah, 8 months.
Okay.
And it's so beautiful to see their bond already. And Aaron's always comparing, okay, so when I'm in this grade, baby A will be in this grade. I might be in the bigger school. And he'll be in the smaller school. Yeah. But that's okay. Like, yeah. It's so beautiful.
Yeah. Oh. And like the kids of your spouse, right? How is that, like, in this equation, like how is that working out? Like
it's working out.
Okay.
I think this is one thing I always say. If you're with someone who has kids, you have to love their kids as your own. Not pretend love because you just want to be with the guy. Right. You have to love them like you love your own kids. There's no 2 ways about it. And because that's how I was raised, that's all I know to do for, my blended family. I can't not love my partner's children. and raise them all as one.
Yeah.
Because to me, no one is a step to me. It's
I love
not
that.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how about them? Like, do they feel the same way?
I hope so.
Yeah. Yeah.
so.
Yeah. But they don't, like, so far you haven't gotten anything that,
No.
it's just been,
Yeah.
because I grew up with, and again, just like you, we never see step brothers. I've always said my brothers. I think it was years later that I even found out they were step, you know. And I love the fact that your mom was transparent right from the get-go. And I hope Ghanaian parents will take in, I mean, if there's anything we take from this interview, please be transparent. Because the thing about the secrets and all that is when it comes out, then it's awkward and then it starts to, like, it's
disruptive.
It is.
Yeah.
So just be transparent. And like, what's the worst that could come out? I don't know. I don't know what it is that it's in your mind, but it's like, to them, it's like, if we tell them, yeah. No. And so I found out, I mean, we all found out differently. Funny enough, it wasn't like a meeting and then they said, it was just like, I think I found out, I'd forgotten what happened, but I found out my younger brothers also found out on their own, and it was shocking.
Right.
But again, we weren't really allowed to talk about it.
Yeah,
my dad is all about like unity, and in his bid to unite us, he's like, we're never going to discuss this thing. So later on, I would say that after he died was when there was some kind of division, because you know, extended family is extended family. So there's always like my older brother's extended family and our extended family as well. So then you see the divide. I'm so happy that through my mom and even my brothers being very intentional about us merging whatever rift it was, we've been able to work through it. Good. But it was hard. It was hard. And when it's one person, that was my dad, when it's one person trying to make sure that everybody's you know, together, and we don't talk about the issue and the person goes, that's when, you know, everything surfaces. So it took us a while to really talk about these things. With Aaron, like, did you have to have any conversation with him, like, oh, you're about to have did you, like,
it's just mommy, like when I was having baby A, you're gonna have a sibling, and he was, brother or sister, you know, kids. And I was like, I don't know yet, because it was very early. I told him very early.
Okay.
And I was like, and then I was just intentional about making sure he's involved in everything. So even when I go for my appointments, when I pick him up, I saw the baby today. Do you want to see the ultrasound? Look, the baby's moving. Yeah. I was very intentional about making sure he felt involved every step of the way. So I think that made it easier for him to just be like, okay, we're still this unit together, you know.
Did you have to seek counsel with your mom or anything like that? You just did it all on your own?
If it had went left, then I would have been like, Ma, what's next, you know? But just super involved in him every minute, like every part of the journey. He's been involved in.
You know, before I ask this question, I want to find out, when you found out that your mom was going to remarry, was it like a meeting, like a discussion?
No, it just was, because, you know, my stepdad had already been in my life for some time.
Okay.
So no, it wasn't no meeting. It was just I don't know if that's just my family thing, 'cause it's just, everything is just organic, like it just flows. You know, sit down and have a meeting to say, I'm getting married. Nah, it just was, I knew it. We're getting married. I'm engaged. We're gonna go wedding shop looking for the dresses, shopping. Everything was just natural, as if he was from day
already part of. Because I'm asking this because of baby A, right? I'm like, is there like, do you have an age that you want to have the discussion with him, or like, is it going to, you know?
I hadn't even thought about that. But I think it will also be something that's organic. It's not forced, like, let me sit you down and tell you. I've never thought about that, like, when will he ever know that no. Because I like that they can build their own. They just build their relationship without this and that, and then because then when it does come out, they've already built their so no, I haven't thought that far.
No, actually, I love everything you shared today. No, because I think that as Ghanaians, we are kind of like in a box where it's almost like, okay, so this is the ideal family. Anything outside that is just like side-eyed, like, okay,
and
really?
sorry to cut you off. Something I loved about Aaron's school is when they do like family trees. They include if you have a bonus parent, if you have, bonus grandparents, or if it's maybe your household is just your mom.
Yeah.
They don't force it that it has to be a certain way.
True.
And I think I like that because families are so dynamic.
Yeah.
Like you said, there's no one type of family. Yeah.
I will add that so when the boys also, I mean, they also kind of had to draw a family tree at school. And I think that as parents in our own homes, we should educate our kids outside of whatever it is that's happening in our family. Because I remember DJ coming home and saying that a friend of his mom had died, right? Because I think when they were drawing the family tree, found out. And the response could be anything. Whatever it is that I'm going to tell him is very important. Yes. So the teacher could, probably brush it aside. Oh, it's fine, it's normal. But then the mom or the dad has to tell him, like, oh, you know what? Yes, unfortunately, that happened. Yes. People do die and things like that. But try not to tease them or things like that. But then you do find that for other people, they don't have that in their friends. Like, they come back and then their friends are suddenly teasing them. Yeah. Where did it come from?
Right. It's the home.
It's a home, So, and when we talk about inclusivity and things like that, we're talking about all these things because families look different for everyone, know. But it's just interesting to me that you grew up in a blended home. And then like
it's... They do say that thing of generational... something, I don't know, but
I think it was supposed to happen to you because you would be more understanding of like your situation.
Yes, definitely.
For you, like, how do you, like, are you, how do I put it? Obviously, you didn't grow up thinking, I'm going to have I grew up in a blended family, so I must have this.
Right.
Yeah. So for you, it's like, how do you cope with everything? Like, are you like, because I feel it can also be draining sometimes. Like, how do you cope with everything you have going on?
I think I'm just one of those people that I take it a day at a time.
Okay.
On the days that I can't, I just don't. Like, was it yesterday or 2 days ago? I was like, I am not doing anything.
Yeah.
And I literally did nothing the whole day but be on social media. Because I was just like, I'm just tired.
Yeah.
But I'm one of those that takes it a day at a time. I'm also someone that doesn't feel I need to prove anything to someone else. So even if someone says, oh, by now you should have been this or you should have had, I'm like, nah, let me be.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that has been good. I don't allow other pressures to be put on me to have things a certain way.
Right.
Because I know when I had Aaron, this has to be done and it has to be.
Like what?
Like even just being with the person, like,
oh,
it's not by force.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, it was like, it's fine. Like, life goes on, you know? So for me, people will say, but I'm one of those people that I still do what I feel is best for me. And I take it a day at a time.
Yeah. Oh, literally. I love that. I love that. Thank you so much, Vanessa, for coming. Yeah, I had so much fun. Yeah, thank you. All right. Bye.